Welcome to Ganohkwasra's Beaded Red Dress tutorial. In your kit you will find size 16 beading needles, beading thread, pellin, your pattern, a beading pad, size 10 or 11 seed beads, leather or felt, and a bar pin. You will also need liquid glue and scissors. Before you begin, you will need to cut out your pattern. Step 1 on your instructions is to glue your pattern onto your pellin. Once you have your pattern glued, you will want to wait for it to dry before you begin your beading. It's time to get ready to bead. I use about 2 arms lengths of thread, but the less that you use, the easier it is to work with. Step 2 is to thread and knot your needle. Once I have my thread through my needle, I will stick it through my beading pad so I don't lose it. To knot my thread, I tie it in about 3 knots to make sure that it has a big enough ball on the end so that it doesn't go through my pellin. Continuing on with step 2, you want to poke your needle up from the back of the pellin wherever you want to start your beading. Make sure you pull your thread all the way through to the end so that your ball on your thread is touching the back of the pellin. Step 3 is to string 4 to 6 beads onto your needle. Step 4 is to push down your needle at the end of the line of beads that you just strung on. Make sure to pull the needle all the way through the pellin and pull the thread tight so that your beads are nice and tight against the pellin. Step 5 is to tack down your beads that you just strung on. For example, if you strung on 4 beads, you would have to go up through the middle between beads 2 and 3, and then you will take your needle, you will poke down through the pellin towards the back. Make sure to pull your needle through and pull your thread nice and tight. The thread will hold the beads in place. Step 6 is to push the needle through the pellin towards the front, in between the last 2 beads. Then you will pull your thread all the way out and poke your needle through the bead. This will be the start of your next row. Step 7 is to continue to repeat steps 3 to 6 for the entirety of your project. get to the end of your thread, you will want to tie it off. The way that I do this is I will take my needle and I will poke it underneath a piece of the thread on the back of the piece. Then I will take my thread and I will wrap it around the needle 2 times. Then I will pull the needle out and pull the knot nice and tight. Now I have a completed outside edge of my piece. Now it is time to start beading the inside of your piece. You have to choose a spot where you would like to start. I chose to start at the bottom because it has a flat edge to follow along. I followed this straight edge through the entire piece. Now that the piece is all finished, it is time to cut the extra pellin off the edges. You want to make sure that you cut off as much pellin as possible, but you also want to make sure you don't cut too close to the beads because you might cut the thread that is on the bottom of the pellin. Now it is time to trace your design onto your leather. Once your design is all traced, it is time to cut the design out. time to attach the bar pin to your leather. The way that you do this is you want to find where you want your bar pin to sit, and then you can see the two pieces that are sticking up on the pin. You need to figure out where you want that hole to be on your leather for it to stick through. As you can see, I found where I want the first side of the hole, so I have to cut a hole in my leather. So be careful at this point. I'm poking the scissors through. Now I have to open the pin and stick it through the leather so that the bar is at the back of the leather, but the pin part is at the front. Once I have the first side in, I can figure out where the second side needs to come through the leather. Once your bar pin is attached to your leather, you can add a little bit of glue on the back of your leather or the back of your felt, just to make sure that it sticks on nice and good to your beadwork. Now it is time to begin your edging. In this video, I am showing you the one bead stack technique, but there are plenty of other techniques to use as well. To begin your edging, you will poke your needle through only your pellin from the back towards the front, so the knot is in between the pellin and the leather. Now your beaded red dress pin is done and all ready to wear. There are many ways to bead. There's no right way or wrong way. Do it as best you can and just have fun. Beading is a great example of self-care for our spirit. We appreciate you watching this video and hope you try out this project.